Hello, welcome to the first course in this series, and that's volumetric analysis. So right here we have Bitcoin, and we're using a 4-hour window on Bitfinex. I like using Bitfinex because it has the highest volume cap. So what is volumetric analysis? Well, volumetric analysis gives me structure of the market. It gives me very objective points where I can target movement and the behavior of price as it crosses over, which are called high value nodes and low volume whales. What is all this mumbo jumbo I'm spilling out? Well, first off, you need to be at least pro on TradingView to even use it. I'm assuming that you guys already have set up your stuff through Matt's courses for setting all your features up. So you should know how to navigate this quite well. So we go up to our indicators and we go to volume profile. And you have three options here, and I'll go through each one, but let's just start with the simple one first, which is visible range. Now this is done in real time. So anywhere you move the length, it'll change. But what is this red line? Well, first let's just get it set up. So we go to our cogwheel, and you have a whole bunch of stuff here. Number of rows, which are these guys right here. And then the row size. Now you can change the row size. This is really aesthetics. It doesn't really amount to anything for like changing the logic. So let's just say you want to put it at 50. You see it gets bigger. You know, it doesn't give as much depth in my opinion, but you could still use this and it'd still work just fine. The up and down, I'm not sure. I've never used the total for it. And then the area of volume is 70. You can think of that like a golden ratio, where the volume likes to be, where the price likes to be at that volume. And then you go into style. Again, I don't mess with the show values. I don't mess with the percentage box. The POC is called the point of control, and the point of control is this red line right here, and you can customize all this stuff if you want, and I'll go over the actual logics of all this, but let's just get the customization first. So POC is red line. You can change the thickness of it. If you're blind, it might help you see it better. You can change it to different line settings, dashes or dots. Again, this is all preference. Now this is the developing POC. If I turn this on, you can see, you can change the color. I'll change it to blue. You can see where there could be some kind of influx going on in the price in that area. And then you have your developing value. This is all predictive guessing, if you will, based on the nodes, which I'll explain. Personally, I don't use these two because I like to get a more visual concept and create my own lines, which I'll teach you how to do. The volume, the up volume, right? The increase of volume is what you want to see. The down volume here is red. You could change these colors. And then the area of volume, which we just talked about, that golden ratio, where it seems like everybody's buying stuff, where the value likes to be, you can change that color as well, which I'll do. You can see this is this whole area here, this spike, right? It's very, very popular. So once you get all that, you can save it however you want it. I'll mess my color up now. There we go. You can change the placement however whatever makes it easier for you to see. If it works better that way. For me, I just like seeing on the right. Once you get it all set up how you want it, then you save it. And actually, I'm not happy with the row size, so I'm going to put it back to 200. There we go. I guess this is all preference. If it's easier to see it on a black background, you can do that as well. Okay. So let's just let's see if we can blow this up somehow. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm going to explain some of the features and why this thing's so critical. So these peaks right here that you see, these are called high volume or high value nodes. High value nodes are the spikes that act like a magnet for the prices to hang out. The problem with people is they get caught up in these price action. And price action is a result of where volume is following or is flowing. If you're following the price action, you're following a broken narrative. So volume is the truth. It's gonna keep you out of harm's way, because this is where people like to buy or sell. So these high volume wells, you can see one right here, and you can see where the price spiked up to 10K. And you can see different examples of where the increases are. Another one spiked up here. And then what I'll usually do is you can hit Alt H and it'll bring a line exactly there. So you don't have to worry about the line moving on you on each of these peaks. Now see, this is done in real time. So the peaks will move depending on how much you're showing on the chart. So let's just put lines where we see peaks. That's a good one. Now look, this is the point of control. The point of control, this is where the value, the price has been very, very popular. And I'm just going to put a line here because I know as soon as I start moving this graph, it's going to change. But you can see all the bounces on that pink line. You see that? You see the bounces? And then you can also see where it falls. This is a popular area. Got area right here. Area right here. You see what I'm seeing? So that's four areas. You can see this major drop. If you guys were into Bitcoin at the time, this was a great time to buy. And that's based on these little spike areas. So what does this tell me? And this is what this will tell you, is if it goes above this line or below it, you're going to have some major movement happening, right? And that's our target. Our target locations is where that POC is, because we want to basically, if it hits that target, then we know that we can probably buy if it starts going up or sell if it starts going down. So you guys are going to have like a whole arsenal once this is all done with using my indicator and using the volume profile. Right. So let's remove all these lines. That's the high volume or high volume, high value nodes. So what about the low wells? Oh, I'm still on the pin. What about these gaps here? What are these? So the volume wells are low volume pits that form deep wells, which is an area where the market decides there is no value there. And you can see these gaps through here. If I blow this out, let me see what happens. Again, this is all in real time. So we can see these pits are higher, you know, are a lot more defined and they're deep, right? Nobody wants to buy there. They don't like this area at all. So what we do is we find the deepest part of the pit and we put a line. Each of these pits here. And while you're watching this, you can follow along and do the same. So you can tell there's a lot of undeciding factors going on Bitcoin. Mouse is a little sensitive. This one's actually so close we don't even need it. Actually, both of these are pretty close. I mean, this is just what? Percent, couple percent. So now that we have all these set, see how it keeps moving? That's why it's nice to just put these lines down for us. So typically on volume whales, at the very low point, which we marked down with the lines, that comes a support or resistance, depending on where the chart is respectively. So in this situation, you can tell that this is our resistant areas. This is a support area, and then another resistant area. So we broke resistance through here a couple times, and then it fell below, right? So you would know that you need to sell. Then it would spike back up, but it never hit this point again. You see that? So if we add the high value nodes on there, I'm gonna get the name right for once. You can see where this is also acts as a support and resistant, but this is where you could see a market trend, usually a bigger market trend. So this is where nobody likes to buy. That's why they're just empty. There's nothing there. You see that? The price doesn't even like touching it. But these spikes is where they do like to buy. So that's very critical to learn and to know, because when you're setting your price points or your targets, you could start mapping all this out and then have a game plan of where you think the market's going to go. So let's just make a game plan right now. So let's do that following the steps I just gave you. A 4-hour window is great. We don't need to look back too far. And we're showing enough, you know, we're showing all the way from, what's that, March? This is plenty of information, enough data for me to make a decision. And let's just see what's going on here. So you can see a popular spot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. 6 times it bounced in this area. So you know this is a spot where people like to buy and sell, right? So what do you see in this situation here? Do you think it's going to go up here, or is it going to go down? Well, we got a small little well right here. We got a couple pits here. We got one little spike here. But it doesn't have a lot of substance. And actually, this is our point of control. So the magnetism is going to happen. It's going to pull past this and go up to here. But the areas where there's gaps, that's the areas of uncertainty. And that's where usually the price will fall or go up. So according to this, what could happen, since it did go past this price a little bit, it hasn't broken a full candle. You see this? This is where it breaks a full candle right here. Right there. And then it went up. So make sure you go by that rule. If you go by half a candle here, the outcome could be let me find a good example if I can find one on this chart. Right here. So it probably spiked up. People started rallying, thinking it was going to go up. A candle formed. People were probably still in it. They got tricked because that's when it started dropping. Made another rally, didn't have enough strength, and now it's dropping. So this could play the same way. You want to look at your patterns. You want to look for bull flags or bear flags. And there's a ton of bear flags going on. I'm sure Matt's already taught you some of the patterns, hopefully. If not, you can always talk to me about it. So what could happen, and I say could because nobody can really predict, but we can at least keep ourselves safe. So you could go up here, right? Maybe, and then bounce down to there. You see that, right? So there could be a rally. It would happen here. There's a lot of indecision right here, so you're going to lose a lot of momentum. And then it's going to drop back down. You see that? So let's just keep that line there. Let's keep all these lines here. And let's go to the daily. Boom. Look at that. Look how the lines are perfectly level with these resistance, the areas where they break. So this could definitely outplay. Oops. They could play out this way. Getting me so far? Understand? You can see there's another one down here. Ooh, wouldn't that be scary? Wow. Look at that, guys. What about right here? A lot of uncertainty in this area. Don't want that, do we? Oh, wait, though. So if you follow me on Discord, I talk about this area a lot. Because this is where the rally started in the first place. You thought it was right here. Nope. That was a trap. This is your rally. And you can tell it's been pretty close. Big rally right here. Then it went back down. Didn't reach that point. It hasn't reached that point yet. That's not to say that it could bounce. I just don't see it happening. A lot of these movements that we're seeing is retail traders. Retail traders are the average Joes. It's me and you. We don't have a lot of capital, and we're just trying to, get some money in our piggy banks, an investment, if you will, and make more Bitcoin, however you see it. The institutions are these big candles. These guys right here, institutions. Maybe Wells, companies, selling off. Some people say, like these little ones here, this is retail. Panic sells right here. Boom, big sells. Boom, big sells. You see that? So that's kind of how I see this playing out right now. People are trying to rally, which are the retail guys. The despair rally, if you will. But then the institutions drop it to where they want it. When I'm thinking what's going to happen, though, because you can see there's just this huge gap, this huge pit. Nobody likes to buy here at all. Okay? Until here, which is 4K. Which is a big drop for Bitcoin. You could even go right here. Look at that. But see, there's that big pit. See how close these two are? So let's just assume it's not going to go this far based off the rules that I've already taught you. It's very important. It's very important to remember the rules and to set these rules in motion to keep you out of harm's way. As long as you follow those rules, you won't lose. And if you lose, it's just minimum. It's very small because, especially with crypto, crypto is very violent, right? It's volatile. It moves unpredictable sometimes. Situation like right here, I'm sure a lot of people thought it was rallying back up, and then it just fooled you again. So everybody, now you could short these spots, if you will. You can short this. You see this, right? You could short right here. Would have made a killing. Would have came back down. Boom. Short. Sell it. So you could short these little peaks here and still make money. Now, if we went by this little line I made, this could be a shorting possibility, right? If it jumps up to 78, you could short this, especially if it's on its way down to 68. That's a good profit, isn't it? Something to think about, guys. So, these pits is where the prices don't like to be. That's where we put our supports there, and resistance, because it's not a place where it's going to hang out. You can see, even if I just put my line there, it's not really comfortable. It's not breaking any candles. It's not any full candles going anywhere, right? It's more at these peaks where you see the popularity. Okay? Let's see if it reads on the weekly. It still reads on the weekly. Look at that. Now, it's not going to give as much information anymore because it's just looking for the volume overall, which was like when it started, right? So it doesn't look, if you look at the weekly, Bitcoin doesn't look that unhealthy. I mean, yeah, it's showing, even right here, if it stops here, maybe not here, but here, and then bounces back up, that's not bad. Even if it did go right here and bounce back up, that's not bad either. Okay. People think this is the end of Bitcoin, but this is normal. You need reversals. People thought this was the reversal. This could have been a little retracement, a little rally, and now maybe this is your full reversal. If you put a trend line through here, all the way down, there's your reversal. That's terrible. So I'm not going to go in too much detail, but once we get into the webinar part, you guys can follow me there and we can have these live discussions, right? But you can easily put a little channel if you wanted to right here and see exactly what's going on. Now I could break this channel any moment. Sure. The pressure is getting tighter here too. That's why it's bound to jump up. Okay? So that is using the visual range profile. Now it has some other tricks up the sleeves that you could use. I still feel that this works perfectly for whatever I need it to. But let's just say you're on you want to do a short time frame. 30 minutes is very popular. Let's load this baby back up. Okay, so you guys can see it. There we go. Okay, so let's get rid of this guy. Go back here, and let's just do session. So this is interesting. Look at that. So this is like each session for the time frame. You see that? See, I'm moving my mouse here. So this is your sessions for whatever time frame you're doing. So if you went on a daily, will it show the sessions? Yep. They're not as defined anymore. You still see them though. You still see the sessions. Each session, 1 day. Okay. What's awesome is you can move this to 5 minutes. This might work for scalping. you can use the same principles too. You can see where the popular high value nodes are right here. You see that? This is the point of control. If you put this line through here like that, kind of look where, well, maybe this was not a good example. Let's try the 10 minute, see if that line changes at all. Okay, maybe not. Anyways, these two areas, these 2 days, if you will, this has been a popular place where it's been bouncing. But you can find another spot where there's a lot of popularity, which was this 8200, huge spot where it just bounced. I think I counted at least like 6 times. So you can bet your money if it gets in that area, it's going to hang around in that area. It's a good place to short, right? Definitely a place where it could bounce again. So let's break this down some more. If we open up our settings, it looks the same, doesn't it? You can change the size again. You want to keep the value area the same. So I like the more defined look. Again, doesn't change the logic. There we go. Again, you can put the placement either right or left. The biggest thing is you don't want to over clutter your charts, because then it becomes a little too overwhelming and you won't follow the simple processes in trading. Because you got a lot going on, right? Because you're using TradeView, and then you got to switch to your Binance, and you do this back and forth, back and forth. Okay. So you can do the same thing. You can put your lines, the developing. Again, I don't use those that much. It's some people do maybe. I just feel like doing my own lines is better to do, which we can do again. So it's the same exact format. It's just this is on a shorter session. You saw right here this pit. There's no volume. That's why it dropped. Same with this one. That's why it dropped. It got comfortable in these areas, and that's where it stayed. Tried to bounce. Then it dropped again. See? We put a little line there. My mouse is too sensitive. This is where nobody was buying. So we'll put this on the 5 minute mark. And that's what's great about this. This just stays here. So you can move it wherever you want. It's not going to change. This is where it sees it at this time frame. And you could see these pits here where the price does not like to be. And it will drop. And then you have this line here, picks it back up. So remember that. Very easy, right? A lot easier than trying to guess where you think your supports are. If you put this right here, for instance, your resistant lines, and let's put a support right here. I'm not even looking at the chart. Just a place where it likes to bounce. Okay. Let's move these so not confusing you guys. Okay, there we go. Support and resistance. Very simple. Now, where does this measure up on the actual thing here? You see what I'm saying? How this works as a support and resistant? What about this top one here? Again, it's right in those wells. But what about the places where you want to make profit? The peaks. That may be tricky, huh? Because it crosses right between those candles. See, what's happening here is there's these fake outs that happen a lot in the market where they fool you into thinking, especially like right here, and people get stuck in these situations. let's just say, for instance, that you bought right here. And it came down. You're still holding on to it. And it keeps falling. Boom, it bounces. Goes back up. You're feeling good. Bounces. Then it falls lower. This is where the panic happened. People freaked out. But look, went back up. Again, this little tiny node right here, if you would have put a line there, you would have known that it's a possibility it could have gone that far or this far. You see my point here? So this is how you can play this market. So what's nice is since there's a session for each one, you could put these lines here, which we can do right now. See, this is like a whole bunch of them. I'm just trying to find the highest one. This seems to be the highest. Okay. And then again, let's get these pits. There's a pit. That's a pit. And then maybe one more. Now let's see how this lines up or played out. Here's another pit. There we go. So here's our resistance here, right? POC, this is where it bounced a lot. Ton. This is where it would have been your buy-in. This would have been your sell. You would have held here. Sold here. Maybe played this. I probably would have I would have sold. I probably would have waited till I saw this again. And then bought, took profit, sold it right here, and then just let it fall. It goes past here, you know it. It's not good. This one, nope, you don't even mess with. So when I teach you how to do Fibonacci extensions and retracement, it's all going to click of why these areas are not good. They seem like they're good, right? It bounces. Can you still make profit? Yes. Is it risky? Absolutely. This is risky. Once it fell in this well right here, that little bounce there, this would have been my play. I would have held it. Would have kept holding it. Why? Because it's not hitting this point of control. Do you see what I'm saying? So it would have climbed up, right? Past here. Yay. That's good. That's great. Not selling it. Still not selling it. Wait. There's an empty spot here again. Now I'm not putting these lines on, but visually I already see it, right? Because I'm just moving this around. So in my mind, I already know like where I would sell it. I wouldn't put all these lines here. Unless I'm doing an analysis or something and I want to share it to other people. Because I get the idea. Okay, 7,700. That's where the price doesn't like to be. It's getting rejected. Right? So now you sell. You sell. What about right here? Oh, it had a little rally. But then that's the candle again. That's when you got to look at that candle. If it goes right here, okay, and it's under the POC line, you do not buy. You don't. You wait until you get a full candle. And you notice here, no full candle, no full candle. Then it dropped. Still dropping. Another low volume node. Could have bought right here. Do you see how this is working? Here's the consolidation. It's just consolidating. But wait. Now it might, if it stays above this line, because this is in real time right now, you could buy it, right? But as soon as it falls below, you don't mess with it. Now what's awesome is you can do this with any trade. It doesn't matter what stock you're messing with. You can still have the same principles. If I go, let's go oil. U.S. oil, here we go. Look, we're doing the same thing, guys. Same principles. So this works not just with crypto, with any trading. So once you feel comfortable and you're working with, a higher capital, you really want to start getting into the stock game and trading non-crypto, this is going to help you out. You can see this is where the prices like to bounce and where you can make money from. Those low wells right there. You see my point? Okay. So there's one thing I want to cover. Gosh, I have a lot of stuff here, don't I? So again, Bitfinex. Here we go. Okay. So let's remove all this silliness. Let's get rid of this. Now I just want to point something out. Now I don't use this as much, but this is a session volume or fixed range, sorry. So you see how I move this over here. I'm going to click on this, and you can click your points. Now what you really want to do is you want to. It's almost like you're doing a fib retracement or extension. So it goes down, and then you click, you set your point. My wife has some kind of steady or something that keeps popping up on my computer that she likes to do in her free time. I have no idea how to get it off. And it's funny because I like program, but she got some kind of extension on here that I can't. Anyways, so you could see this this point of control. It made this line for you. So you can extend this to another peak if you want. Maybe. Put over here. There you go. Do you see what's going on here? So you can use this tool as well. And what's cool is you can use it on the daily. You see it's all small. So this could be like a nice little short game. You could play a short. Move it here. You see that point of control? Go to another high peak. So that low volume well, that's where you would have bought. So this is a handy little tool as well. This is the main peak. This is where that no volume was here. Nobody wanted to pay anything else. They didn't want to pay 21,000. That's when it sold. That's where there's just no popularity at all. A little bit of popularity, yeah. Made another rally again. There's just no volume. This is where a lot of people lost a lot of money. This was our, look at that. This is the popular spot right here. There's that 11,000, 92, 85, 81, 68. And of course the 5,700 where I think it's going. And you can't really do any settings to this. I think you, hold on a second, you can, sorry. So you go to format, it's the same setup. They got some more features, the minutes, months, I don't mess with any of that. The point bars, I don't mess with any of that. But like the row size, again, you can change it, you know. Make it more defined. It's however you want to do it. That's the fun thing. That's the fun thing with trading is you can customize and build a plan and strategy that's going to work for you. Well, folks, that's pretty much volumetric analysis in a nutshell. Now I will be doing some webinars, and I'll have these tools up as well, and we can work on learning some more about it. You guys can ask questions. But this should give you an idea of how it all works. So thank you, and be ready for the next course.